Have you ever stopped to wonder how something as private and ordinary as sitting on the toilet could be silently making your body suffer? Every day, millions of people go through the same small routine: walk into the bathroom, sit down, scroll through their phone and wait. It feels harmless, even relaxing. But what most people don't realize is that this daily moment of comfort is often the very reason their pain keeps returning. The human body was designed to work with gravity, not against it. Our ancestors didn't use chairs or porcelain seats. They squatted, naturally aligning the rectum and the anus in a straight, open path that allowed the body to release waste easily. The muscles worked effortlessly, the veins stayed healthy, and digestion followed its rhythm. But as civilization changed, so did our posture. The modern toilet, for all its convenience, quietly forced our bodies out of their natural design. Now we sit at a 90-degree angle, legs down, back curved, eyes fixed on a screen. It feels like rest, but for your body it's tension. That position squeezes the pelvic area, compresses the veins, and builds up pressure deep inside where you least want it. What's meant to be a short, smooth process turns into minutes, sometimes tens of minutes, of stillness and strain. Every extra second you spend sitting there sends more blood into the veins around the rectum. They swell, stretch, and inflame, and over time that inflammation becomes pain. You may not feel it right away. At first, there's only a bit of warmth, a slight pressure, something you dismiss as nothing. Then one day, it burns when you sit, or you notice a spot of blood on the toilet paper. Maybe it passes, but then it comes back, again and again. The truth is, hemorrhoids don't appear overnight. They grow in silence, fed by routine. And one of the biggest culprits is the way we use the toilet itself. We were never taught how to go to the bathroom the right way. No one explained that time matters, that posture matters, that breathing matters. We just sit and push and hope the body takes care of the rest. But the body has its limits. When you force it, it resists. When you ignore it, it fights back. And what we call hemorrhoids is, in many cases, simply the body asking us to stop and listen. The pain, the swelling, the bleeding, they're not random punishments, they're signals. They're your body saying, something in your daily rhythm needs to change. It's not shameful, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's a request for care. And the moment you start to understand what that care looks like, the healing begins. You don't need another expensive cream or a quick fix. You need awareness. You need to know what your body is trying to tell you every time you sit down and feel that pressure building. Because healing starts long before the medicine. It starts with knowledge. If you want to understand exactly what's happening inside your body and learn how to relieve the pain naturally, stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the simple mistakes most people make on the toilet every day, and how changing them can mean the difference between years of discomfort and finally living without pain. Inside the human body, everything depends on balance. Every breath, every heartbeat, every tiny movement in your intestines is guided by a rhythm that keeps you alive without effort. But when that rhythm is broken, when you sit down, hold your breath, and push against what should flow naturally, the harmony collapses. The muscles tighten, the blood vessels swell, and a silent kind of pressure begins to build. Most people don't realize how much force they use when they go to the bathroom. They push as if something is blocking the way out, believing that strength will make it faster. But the more you force, the more the rectal veins expand. Each push traps blood in a delicate network of vessels designed to handle only gentle pressure. And with every repetition, the tissue becomes weaker, more inflamed, and more painful. This pressure is invisible but powerful. It's not just a matter of effort. It's what happens when you hold your breath while pushing. That single reflex raises the pressure in your abdomen and sends it downward, right into the pelvic region. The result? More strain on the veins, more swelling, and more pain. It's like squeezing a balloon over and over again. One day it stops bouncing back. Straining doesn't help your body. It works against it. The intestines aren't machines that respond to force. They respond to rhythm, to movement, to calm. When you press too hard, the natural reflex that moves waste forward shuts down. The body feels attacked and contracts in defense, making the process even harder. The harder you try, the more resistance you create. There's another hidden consequence of constant pressure. Over time, the tissue that holds the veins in place begins to stretch. The veins slide downward, closer to the surface, and the burning and itching intensify. This is why so many people feel that their hemorrhoids get worse with age. It's not age itself, but years of repeated pressure taking their toll. The solution isn't more effort. It's patience. A few deep breaths before you sit down can change everything. Breathing slowly, relaxing your abdomen, and letting gravity do the work is not weakness, it's wisdom. Your body was built to release, not to fight. And if you ever feel the need to push hard, that's not a sign that your body is failing. It's a signal that something is off. Too little water, too little fiber, too much stress, too much rushing. The intestines move best when the rest of you slows down. Learning to wait instead of forcing, to breathe instead of straining, is how you break the cycle of pressure. Because hemorrhoids don't come from doing too little, they come from doing too much of the wrong thing. When you stop fighting your own body, it finally starts to heal. Think about how often you've brought your phone into the bathroom. It feels harmless, maybe even comforting. A short break from the day, a quiet moment to scroll through messages or check the news. But while your mind drifts through the screen, your body stays in a position it was never meant to hold for long. What seems like a small moment of peace is, in reality, one of the most common ways people make their hemorrhoids worse without realizing it. Every minute you sit on the toilet, gravity is pulling blood downward. The veins in your rectal area begin to fill, and the pressure builds slowly. When you sit for too long, the blood doesn't drain as it should. It stays trapped, pressing against the walls of those delicate veins, stretching them beyond what they can handle. That's when inflammation begins. It's a quiet process at first, no pain, no obvious sign. But it's there, growing stronger with every extra minute you stay seated. The bathroom should be a place of release, not a waiting room. But the modern world turned it into one. People bring books, magazines, and more recently, phones. They lose track of time while the body remains in a state of pressure. The longer you stay, the more circulation slows, the more tissues swell, and the harder it becomes for the veins to recover afterward. What feels like relaxation is, in truth, slow damage, and that damage doesn't stay local. The body reacts to the lack of circulation with inflammation, the same kind of internal heat that causes throbbing, itching, or burning sensations later. It's not sudden, it's cumulative. 1 minute becomes 5, 5 become 10. And over time, those quiet moments of distraction turn into a pattern of chronic irritation. If you could see what happens inside, you would notice how the veins expand with every passing moment, how the pressure doubles simply from the weight of the body resting on them. The phone in your hand may calm your mind, but it keeps your body trapped in a silent struggle. There's an easy fix, though: awareness. Leave the phone outside. Treat that moment as sacred, a time for your body to let go, not to disconnect from it. Once you finish, stand up. Don't linger. Movement restarts circulation, and the blood flows back where it belongs. Just that small change, spending a few minutes less sitting, can make an enormous difference in your recovery. If this sounds familiar, if you've caught yourself scrolling through your phone while sitting there longer than you should, take this as your reminder. Your body doesn't need more time. It needs your attention. And every time you listen to it, even in something as simple as this, you move one step closer to real healing. The body is always speaking, even when you don't pay attention. Before the pain comes, it sends whispers, a bit of warmth, a dull pressure, a mild itch that fades when you stand. But those small signs are never random. They're your body's way of saying, "I need your help." Hemorrhoids don't appear out of nowhere. They build slowly, fed by habits, by neglect, by silence. And the truth is, most people don't give the body what it's quietly asking for: balance, hydration, and rest. Water is the simplest form of healing, and yet the most forgotten. Your intestines rely on it to move waste smoothly, to keep everything soft and easy to pass. When you don't drink enough, the stool becomes dry and dense. The body then has to push harder, which increases pressure and inflammation. The veins swell, the pain grows. One glass of water, or the lack of it, can change everything about your next visit to the bathroom. But hydration alone isn't enough. Your body also needs fiber, the natural cushion inside food that absorbs water and gives bulk to the stool. Without it, everything slows down. The intestines hold onto waste for too long, and when it finally leaves, it scrapes and strains the sensitive tissue on the way out. Fiber is the quiet hero in this story, turning every meal into an opportunity for healing. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains. They're not medicine, but they work like it, restoring the rhythm that your body has been begging for. Still, most people only remember these things when the pain becomes unbearable. They reach for quick solutions, creams, pills, promises, but forget that the real cure begins much deeper. The intestines are like rivers. When they flow, everything downstream is calm. When they dry, tension and heat rise. Water and fiber are what keep that river alive. There's also the matter of listening to your body's timing. The urge to go is a natural reflex, but when you ignore it, because you're busy, because you're embarrassed, because it's not the right time, you train your body to hold back. Each time you resist, the intestines reabsorb water, the stool hardens, and the next attempt becomes harder. That's how constipation begins, not from what you eat, but from how often you ignore your body's signals. The body doesn't need much to heal, it just needs consistency. A glass of water every few hours, a plate rich in color and fiber, a few minutes of movement each day. These are small acts, but together they become medicine. Over time, the intestines find their rhythm again. The swelling fades, and the body returns to its quiet, natural state of balance. When you start to see your body as an ally rather than an obstacle, everything changes. The discomfort becomes a message, the pain becomes a teacher, and slowly, the part of you that once felt like a burden turns into a reminder of what your body can do when you finally begin to listen. Healing doesn't always arrive with noise or grand change. Sometimes it starts in the quietest places, like the bathroom, where you decide to finally listen to your body instead of rushing it. The truth is, your body never wanted to fight you. It just needed you to stop fighting it. Every small adjustment you make, how you sit, how long you stay, how much water you drink, how calmly you breathe, is a message of respect, and the body responds to that language faster than any medicine ever could. In just a few days of awareness, you begin to notice small differences. The pressure eases, the burning fades. The fear that used to come with every visit to the bathroom begins to disappear, and little by little, you stop seeing this process as a burden. You start to see it as part of the balance that keeps you alive, a moment of release, of care, of connection. Your intestines aren't your enemy, they're your rhythm. When you nourish them with water, with fiber, with the right posture and patience, they give that energy back to you tenfold. The pain softens because the body is finally allowed to heal. You no longer chase relief, you live it. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. You're choosing to listen instead of ignore, to breathe instead of strain, to heal instead of hurry. Because health doesn't begin with pills or creams. It begins with understanding, awareness, and compassion for yourself. If this message helped you see your body differently, share it with someone who needs it. Someone who's still struggling in silence, thinking that pain is normal. It's not. The body was made to heal, to find balance, to return to peace if you give it the chance. And if you want to keep learning how to heal naturally, how to rebuild your health from the inside out, subscribe to this channel. Stay close. Because the more you understand your body, the more it rewards you with what it's been trying to give you all along: freedom from pain and the quiet comfort of feeling whole again.